Hello, everyone. So glad you're here. Welcome. Well, let's go ahead and get started with our, sorry about that, with our connection. And to do this, we breathe together for 3 minutes. Hi, Diane G. Welcome. And to do this, we put our hands over our hearts. And we're breathing in for a count of 4, 5, or 6. And we're exhaling slightly longer. 5, 6, 7. Inhale. 4, 5, 6. Slightly longer exhale. And as you do this, think about breathing through the heart space and connecting with the vibration of either love or gratitude or appreciation, whatever makes the most sense to you tonight. Breathing in and out, arriving here in this space together, intentionally connecting your energy with mine and everyone who's watching both live and also who watch this video later. I'm going to add Marlene to the studio here. Hello, Marlene. Breathing in and out, signaling to the nervous system that it's time to relax, to be receptive, to be settled and centered. There's nowhere else to be right now. Bringing brain and heart into coherence, connecting heart to heart through the quantum field with all of us here tonight to do this work together, this subtle activism. Breathing in and out, very relaxed. Thank you, everyone. We are now connected. I'm going to change up the order here tonight, and we'll start with the Women's Scholarship meditation. And we hopefully our friend Scott will be able to join us for the meditation for him. Okay, here we go. We now intend for the reliable continuation of the Women's Scholarship Endowment through Texas A&M, and that the 208 scholars complete their degrees, remaining safe, healthy, and well in every way. Allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra, project it out into the quantum field, and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention for the scholarship fund and release it with love. Now, our second intention is for Scott. We now intend that Scott A., 50, of Longwood, Florida, remains healthy and well in every way as he immediately experiences a surge of creative spark in his 3D digital art, producing excellent images and thoroughly enjoying himself. Allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra, project it out into the quantum field, and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention for Scott and release it with love. And our final intention tonight is for our bodies. Together, we now intend to listen to our physical bodies, trusting and honoring its messages, requests, and requirements, moving forward in life, healthy and well in every way. Allow this intention to drop into your heart chakra, project it out into the quantum field, and follow the energy. Thank you, everyone. Trust this intention for all of us and release it with love. I'm going to try and get my camera working here. I'm going to remove myself from the studio and come back and see if I can get. No photo tonight. And I also don't see any updated comments. So unfortunately, I can't see. StreamYard is, oh, yes. Yeah, now I see a comment from Diane G. Yes, for whatever reason, I can't get my camera to work. But we'll forge on. Okay, good. So let's see. If you would, we had 3 meditations tonight. The first one was for the 208 women who are receiving a scholarship through Texas A&M. Oh, great. Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you can hear me. And we meditated for them that their scholarship fund is steady and reliable and that they are able to complete their educations. These are women who are supported by an endowment. And an endowment is when the money is invested, the principal is not touched, but the earnings from the principal are what's used to fund these education things. Hi, Bora Bora 333, welcome. And so their scholarship is put in danger when Doge went through US aid, and some of these women are studying from home. Some have moved to other countries because in Afghanistan, they're not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to go to high school. They're not allowed to go to college. And these are all brilliant young scholars. So if they are forced to return back to Afghanistan, they could be imprisoned. They could be put to death for disobeying. So it's really important that they have reliable support. And then we also intended for Scott. He's one of our regular viewers. And oh, good. I'm glad the sound is good. Thank you so much. He's one of our regular viewers. He creates 3D digital art, and he was feeling a little bit like he needed a boost. So I hope that he was able to join us tonight and is going to see some improvement in his work. And then our last intention was for us, for all of us, to learn to listen to our bodies and to continue to develop that relationship. So, Marlene, can I start with you and hear what anything you received during the. Oh, okay. You'll have to unmute yourself. I can't do it.
I can. Hi, Daphne. Hi,
Hi there.
everyone. Well, that was a very powerful meditation session. I am really tired physically. I almost didn't come because I have so little energy, but what I did instead of trying too hard to like kind of conjure up the focus from my own being, for me, the meditations are pretty physical. Like it's not just heady, it requires a certain amount of physical focus. So I just allowed my spirit guides and team and angels to do the work, and I just focused on being a channel for that energy instead of trying to send energy out from my heart. And it was very powerful. I didn't get as many images as usual as a result, but I did experience a lot of the energy. For the first meditation for the scholars, for the 208 women, I saw them graduating and giving each other flowers and plants like they were able to come together and share. And I don't really know what the flowers and plants represent, but that was something I saw. And then for Scott, I saw him getting excited to go to like a weekend workshop for some new equipment that he was starting to work with, a new program and a new format to work in, and that he was meeting up with other collaborators and getting energy from finding other people who have a similar passion. And then for the physical body one, I just basically sat in that energy. I feel I had such an amazing day working out in the garden, and um, the the amount of information I get through my body and the amount of information that I share through my body is quite astounding. I had an interesting experience with as always with birds. These birds flew around my head in circles while I was working out of doors. So they just like to see me and show their appreciation. So it was I felt like in this meditation, that I bring it up because we were listening to our bodies, and in this and in that moment, I really felt like that connection through my body to the planet, to the birds, and so that was prominent in my meditation.
That's wonderful. And I like that that you showed up and tried something new because it was a better match for your energy levels. I love that. Yeah, I think we have to be open to all the ways in which we're invited to connect. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Let me. Here's a comment from Diane. For the first intention, she felt a resistance. Then it got lighter, and she saw young women walking up to a stage and accepting their diplomas. Yes, I love that. Yeah, that the I'm one oh I know what it was. Marlene, you talked about plants and flowers. A lot of these young women are studying agriculture. So
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty amazing. And then for the second intention, Diane felt like she was in Wonderland, filled with childlike joy. I feel like Scott is a creative soul, and joy is his way to connect to his creativity. Yes, yes, beautiful. And for the last intention, Diane felt so much love and gratitude for her body, and she felt it loving her back and thanking her for jogging this morning. Yes, I
Nice.
love that.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, I spent much of the meditations trying to fix my camera and texting someone to make sure that you guys were seeing the intentions because I was just getting, this lovely video of Marlene, and I could tell that she was live because I could see her moving and, adjusting her posture, but I can't see myself and I couldn't see the slides. So I was just crossing my fingers and hoping that you were getting it. But when I create these little video clips, which is the only way I can get music to play through StreamYard, I sit with them and do the meditation the first time through, and I might adjust things when that happens. And so earlier, when I was meditating for Scott, I got this definite sense of playfulness. And I hope that that's something he can really tap into because um, there's that sort of channel of creativity that comes in through it. For me, it mostly comes in through the crown chakra. And then it just goes all the way down the body through all seven chakras and expresses outward from there. So there's not really a controlling of it. We can show up and say, okay, I'm ready. to channel this energy and to get into the flow of creativity. But so much of it is a conversation between us and the quantum field. That's how I feel as a writer, and as a and I do make different kinds of art, um, but mostly as a writer, I am in relationship with the universe, and my creativity is coming through my chakras, and it's a collaborative art. And I think he's going to have a lot of fun playing with that. When I meditated for the young women, I felt the group of them and their current level of uncertainty and anxiety. So, what I tried to do is I tried to just trust that this is going to be resolved and that they are going to be supported and they're going to be able to finish their studies. And then I sort of had a macro view of how important this kind of soft power is in the world. Um, the education is the key to freedom. It really is. And I just uh, am so happy that they have this opportunity. I don't know how many young women there are in Afghanistan. This is only 208 of their most brilliant scholars. So, I would like to see them succeed and then another generation of women come after them. So let's, I really appreciate you guys sending this energy with me. And then the intention for the body, I too felt just a great sense of love and gratitude for my body, and the just the energy of it. It's kind of like, I don't know, you might have played with a puppy before, and just that playfulness and that energy and that willingness to spend time together and to share love. That's how I feel when I'm actually paying attention to my body. It's like such unconditional love being shared. And I just appreciate it so much. So let's see. I don't see any more in the comments, but you are always welcome. If there's something you decide you want to share after the meeting, you can always send me an email at relaxwithdaphne@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear any of your experiences. Sometimes when we do these intentions, you are relaxed and you feel good about it in the moment, but you don't see it unfold for a little bit of while, a little bit of time. So we've done a number of intentions for each of us with our clairs, and now two for the body. We'll do two more this month for the body, and then we'll move on to another theme. But anytime you notice something coming out of these intentions, I would love to hear from you. And I do have 2 slots for intentions next week. If anyone would like to send me a request, it would be really great. Okay, well, then why don't we go ahead and follow our tradition of disentangling our energy from the group. Thank you so, so much for joining your power and your focus to ours, and to do these wonderful subtle activism exercises. These experiments, I've seen so many wonderful success stories coming out of intention meditations. And I hope that we'll have some opportunity for people to report on their successes in the future. Yes, thank you, Diane. It is definitely disentangle time. Okay, so hands over hearts, breathing in and out through the heart chakra, connecting with the vibration of gratitude, of love, of appreciation, of joy, feeling at one with your body, bringing your brain and your heart into coherence. Breathing in for 4, 5, or 6. Very relaxed. Exhale for 5, 6, 7. Very comfortable. And as your attention returns to the body, you might feel a sensation of disconnecting from the group energy. It's like you've been somewhere and now you have returned back to the room in which you're meditating, feeling the sensations of the body, the furniture or the floor that's supporting you, your connection to the floor and through it the earth. And as you disentangle from the group energy, you're going to leave behind any attachment or concern or worry about the people or the energies involved in the meditations. We are trusting them and we are releasing them. And now we are comfortably arrived back in our rooms. And anything we might have heard or experienced that was comforting, healing, inspiring, helpful, I encourage you to take that with you into the rest of your week. And we will connect again next week. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.